I wanted to talk for a second about the idea of evil. I hear people talk a lot about evil like they understand it. And I don't think that I understand what evil is better than anyone else. And for most conversations, it'd be needed to be defined what we were talking about to talk about it. But I'll tell you this, maybe evil does exist in one individual human. But it's definitely, in my opinion, a very rare thing. We have evil that occurs in social organisms, in events that occur with a mass number of people. But the people that people like to point at as the most evil, whether in history or whether in the current world or whether in politics, are just singular people. But the evil that we blame them for, or evil, let's call it violation of the biggest thing, which is someone else's body and mind, is backed by huge amounts of other people. One person that we point at and call evil is not what's doing these atrocities. And I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to put things into perspective for other people from what's my perspective. And my perspective is that when I was dying in the hospital, and I had the nights when I was alone, bedridden, occasionally with a machine breathing for me, so I couldn't do anything. And I thought I was dying, and I was dying. And I gotta tell you that in those dark moments, anyone that anyone points out as evil, that I could know all the history about, Hitler could have walked in that fucking room. One of those long, horrifically painful nights. And if Hitler would have walked in there and just sat with me, for a little bit, like, knowing everything that I know about history, like, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have. It could be fucking Stalin, it could be whoever. It could be whoever was in charge of fucking dropping bombs on Japan, and fucking blowing that shit up, nuclear war, whatever. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. It wouldn't have mattered one bit. I would have had a human being in a room with my dying self, bedridden self, that was spending time with me in that moment that I felt like I needed it more than any other moment in my life, to just have human connection, just have someone else there. Oh God, and if they held my hand, fuck, if Hitler held my hand, God, and told me that it all meant something, and that I was important, and this time was important, like, it fucking wouldn't have mattered. None of it would have mattered. And that, along with these visions that I've had, like, taught me so much, or I feel like it did, and other people can feel different, and that's fine, but I feel centered and at peace for the first time in my life since processing all this stuff afterwards. And no one would have been evil to me in that moment. Nobody spending time with me and being around me would have been evil in that moment. I don't care what they could have done before. I wouldn't have cared. And that's what really put into perspective for me, like, what's real. Money, it's nice, it's comforting, it's nice to be able to have resources to pass around, but it's not real. A job that you fucking just bust your ass at and are unhappy and miserable every day, but to get you a house or whatever, like, that's not real. And I have a hard time believing that evil is real. I really have a hard time with that. And if it exists in this social organism mass of things, because one individual person only has so much power. They only have so much. And it's not as much as we give people credit for. But the power to love, Oh man, the power to be there for people when they need it. Like, whoa. That's power. That's some intense power. And that's power that we all have. We all have it. As soon as you point your finger at somebody else and say you're evil for thinking X way, or for saying we should do thing Y, like as soon as you do that, like someone could easily just turn around and point the finger right back at you, you're evil for thing Y, you're evil for thing X. You know, I don't want to be called evil. I don't want to be recognized as evil. So why, for another human being who's equal to me, that in the most dire circumstances of my life I would have accepted anybody, why would I ever do that? Why? And I won't. I won't do it. I won't. So, there you go. There's some thoughts I've had on my mind. Alright, people. Same as usual. I love you all. Love you all. I love the world. Everybody's my family. Everybody's my friend. I'm an open heart, ready to connect at all times with anybody. You know, the only issue is other people there, but I'm not in control of them. And that's good. I don't want to be. I don't want to be a master, just like I don't want to be anyone's slave. Just like I don't want to be evil. So here I am. This is me. Love, guys. Love. That's my jam. And that's where it's at. It's where it's at.